I am here in screen. I'm just trying to get everything settled. There we go. All right, we're good. Ah. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How is your Saturday going? Oh, by golly, we have a new year right upon us, as well as a bunch of other things. Is everything good? Can you guys hear music in the background? Can you hear my voice? Is it all fucked? Tell me, please. Because yes, this could be a real shit show, but hopefully it's not. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe we've gotten past. I can't believe all of them, man. I can't believe we've gotten past the holidays, and we've also gotten past New Year's. I mean, they're right next to each other, but still, it just feels like it happens so fast. Boom. You want to know some crazy shit? My birthday. I'm not trying to tell you guys when it is, but let's just say it's like right on top of almost everything, and it's just kind of a lot. It's just a lot. And honestly, if anyone can relate to having a birthday after New Year's, we'll say, at some point, you can relate to basically everyone being fatigued by like, I don't want to. And frankly, I'm good with that. I'm keen on that actually. But ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We got Fluff up in here. Fluff was one of the first people popping out of a little box, little cat box, as he always is. Also have Kill. What's good, Kill? Kill says WSG was good. Is that what that is? I don't know. Lone says hello. What's good, Lone? What's good, Delta? Delta says hi. Lone says, I hear you. No music though. Is it quiet? Is the music just not as loud as you would like? Where is it? The music I have there. Oh no, that's what it is. Okay, good. Sorry. Good. Good. So now you can probably hear the music, right? God, I hope so. Wait a minute. Yes. Yes, you should be able to hear music now. Good. Good. Let me know if you can't, because that's broken. And that should not be the way it is. Now, some of you guys may be like, Grin, why are you standing up to do all this? Well, my friend, I need 2 mouses for my computer, and I have 4 mouses in my room. Don't know where the other 2 are, though. So I need to get an extension rig, get it literally right here, and then we'll be good. Also, I should move closer right here. Oh, God, I'm sure there's spiders kicking around now. Anyways. But ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Lone says grins. No, it's we got a couple of weeks still. Plenty of weeks. We got 50 weeks. We got 60, maybe 20, maybe 5. We'll see. But don't worry about it. It's the point. But ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to reminisce about your year. And yes, I mean yours, because mine was relatively, the same as the last. I'm sure you would agree as well, the same for you. But more or less, it was a lot of learning, a lot of editing. But before we get into the actual just hangout, the deconstruction of our years, talking about what we did and achieved, and then me basically having to, for probably 2 hours straight, trying to push through your self-doubt and your limiting words about what you've achieved to finally get to an actual core fundamental that you've definitely improved upon, and having to shove that down your throat. Anyways, what I want to say is one of the things I thought was a really nice way of seeing it. Sometimes you see things in life and it almost, not trying to get woo-woo with you, but it almost feels like it's a sign. Like right as you're starting to develop maybe a very warped perception of something changes that perception and says, well, actually, you might just be fucked up in the way you think of these things. And one of those things, at least to me this year, which I thought was a poignant thing to hear and to acknowledge, was that life is basically self-development and progression. Life is the development of your character. It's probably the nicest way of saying it. So for a lot of us, including myself, I think we set these goals for ourselves to, I want to be here, or I want to have done this thing, or I want to have achieved that goal or that thing. But the problem with that is that it doesn't account for what is the most important, which is the fact that you are making massive strides with your whole life. Sure, maybe if you blacked out and only focused on this one thing, maybe you could have gotten more, but that's not how life works. You have 1,000 different things coming at you, and it's about how you handle all of those things that I think makes you. Anyways, the point that I want to get across is that I think it's important for people, when I ask the question, what did you guys get up to this year? What did you guys think you progressed in? It's not about achieving your end goal, but it's about what you did to grow to get even near that end goal. How much did you progress, I guess? Not about I didn't attain it, so boo-hoo me. It's not about that. It's about how much your character improved this year. And did you become slightly better in some way? Did you sacrifice something and that meant something to you, etc. All these things. And to me, that really helps because I tend to be a person who sets goals, which is good. You should set goals. I think goals is correlated with like people actually succeeding in something. But simultaneously, it is also super discouraging when you end up not attaining your set goals. And the thing that could basically, the thing I think you should be focusing on is the fact that you've progressed by having reached and strived for those set goals. Kind of like shoot for the stars, hopefully end up on the moon kind of thing. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, outside, before we get maybe into that, of the whole last year, you know, having to think back on that, how was y'all's week? Jeez. You know, other streamers do a real smart thing, and they're like, let me just look at the news, and then we'll just talk about, like, drama and news. And I'm like, no. I have cultivated a group of people who are very much insular people, aka I don't think any of us love talking about each other, like ourselves. So it's just a back and forth of, well, what did you get up to? I got up to nothing much. What did you get up to? And we're just like sitting there pulling teeth for 20 minutes. What do you call it? Lone said, I can hear music. What's good, Raid? Ray says, hi, what's good, Raid? Ray, what was your most played game of this year? The reason why I want to ask you that, although everyone can jump in, is because I feel like you've jumped around with so many games. What is the game that you think you've played the most of? Destiny, I don't know if that quite sucked up as much of your time. I feel like it's a mixture of Honkai Star Rail. That one game you were playing recently, I think that just came out. Just happened. Also, is it just me, or is some of the God of War faces, specifically Athena's, really creepy at times? It's like it's bordering in that uncanny valley where her eyes are kind of like permanently hawk-eyed at you, and you're kind of just like, Athena, please, please, please. Oh, it reminds me of that meme where it's like a biblically accurate angel comes down upon you and says, "Look at my beauty. How do you feel about this moment?" And then a person sitting back in a chair like, "Brother, I'm gonna be honest, this is the scariest moment of my life." Stupid. Oh, also, you guys have, I'm not sure if I'm just turning into a weirdo. I'm really liking sounds recently. Like, my ears are getting a little bit better. And yeah, there was an echo last time because I had to turn off my mic to my mixer. I got to turn down the audio so that you guys aren't hearing two mics. So now the audio should be at least sounding more balanced. Beforehand, it was like when I shouted, the other mic could kind of pick it up. So then it came across as like an echo. God damn it. Anyways. Once again, you guys are just like, good. You guys are good with this, and you deserve this. I sometimes give you this, but you don't mind, which is it's disheartening a little bit. Lone says, Grin, I watched your video about the cultured mods. Not sure if you saw. I have not seen your comment yet. I do want to go up probably on Monday. I'll jump in. I'll probably start. Every Monday I try to like go back and I look at all of the comments on that whole channel, and like just heart them usually, because I always don't like replying to comments like with text, because then it implies something strange, at least to me. One, I don't want to like. It's the same thing with liking comments, where like when I've liked most of the comments, it makes like a person who did comment something, or even a person who commented something that was like kind of not exactly like the craziest positive thing, but just like, hey, I thought it was good, but I didn't really love the audio, it was too loud or something. I like that comment too, but the point is that when you like everything, the outlier becomes the thing that you didn't like. So if I reply to this person, it makes me feel almost obligated to reply to all of them, and it's not like this person's comment was more valid than that person's comment. Also, I don't have time to comment back to everything. We also stream almost fucking every week. Like, you just gotta hold off for like 4 days, and I'm there. You can ask me in person. Even though I know that's not how that always works. We all have a Discord, and I almost always reply to people who reach out to me on Discord. So there's that. Anyways, I also have a business email that I threw in that new channel now, so that's also there if you wanted to email me something weird, but sure. But anyways, Lone said, I watched a video. I'm not sure if you see my comment, but my friend, you outdid you. Okay, good. I'm happy. It seemed like I got a really good response for it, and it's fucked up, dude. But like, I've always kind of suspected. Like, it's hard to describe, but like, I'm making this video. I made the previous video on our channel, which was basically me doing one of the buckets that I had, which is I want to have a different type of storytelling. So I don't want to storytell by me being like, today, like, one of the most amazing things I've ever encountered is this one mod. Like, you guys can even hear my stupid voice go into like storyteller mode, but it's kind of trying to round up. It's weird. Anyways, the point is that's like one way to deliver a story, and then another way to deliver a story, which I really enjoy, is basically like a POV version of it. So you're just there. You're just in the middle of a story. Ideally, you're like, if the story was 100%, you start the 30% mark. That way you don't have to put up with any like explaining stuff, the tutorials or whatever. And then you just jump in and you create some sort of narrative by like reacting to things, not necessarily telling, but reacting and kind of seeding in these environmental cues. That one I feel like works when it comes to showcasing something different. I feel like those videos turn out really well. I feel like the videos where I do my like kind of like exposition at the beginning to kind of tell people what the hell we're doing and why we're doing it, and I lean on my only strength, which is like storytelling. But then I was making this video that it's been taking a long time to edit, and that one I'm curious what you guys think, because it's definitely that one out of all the videos, I think I want feedback on like the most. If you guys can like grunge up any feedback you have, because I'm not sure how that one worked. Like I think I just made 2 really good videos. The crazy weird Steam game called The Utility Room, or basically it's like the best example of like a dream in VR. At least that's what I think. That's why I titled the video as such. And then I made this video about us doing like what I think I had naturally have like a fun proclivity towards, which is like, again, all my life people have weirdly confided in me weird information specifically about sexual endeavors, we could say, and I'm just like, okay, why are you telling me this? But also like, okay, can't hit me. And also, I just don't judge people. At least I try not to judge people for those kind of things. I think at best it's fun to explore. I think most people are open to having like somebody poke them, essentially, like nudge them and poke fun at them, so much as they're not like being vindictive and evil. That's wrong, I think. But everyone's good with being like, yeah, it's a little odd, I guess, or okay, this is interesting to see how people who aren't in this whole realm, how they feel about it, how the outsiders who aren't douchers feel about what I got going on, which I think is a fun concept. Anyways, I also tried to make it so that, again, there's like this gray area. I appreciated Fluff reached out and talked to me a little bit about the whole, his like the definition of clickbait and all that stuff. But for me, I do think there's this weird balance when it comes to that, where like, some people just basically use a hyper provocative, we could say, hyper provocative thumbnail. This could be like boobs. This could be a situation of a girl like normal, and then she's in a pool and her fucking thing's skin tight or something, right? These are like these weird, really obvious things, and they're like they overall make up like maybe 2% of the video. Like it's like a little clip that says what, and then it's that. And to me, the thing that's always defined like whether a thumbnail is clickbait or not is whether you feel satisfied by having clicked on it, basically. So if you click on it for, let's say, again, you click on the video that we made, that I made, I guess. We were it's collective, all right. We made, and one of the things in there that I thought would be really funny, because I think it's such a provocative but yet not provocative thing, which is abs. Like, I'm not talking abs, I'm talking like glossy, fucking crisp as hell abs with maybe just the slightest bit of one to the left, sagged a little bit, so you can tell it's not a dude necessarily. Anyways, and I thought that is like the most, it's like the weirdest, like beautiful gray area where YouTube's kind of like, I mean, it's just abs, but at the same time, everyone's like, excuse me, Jesus. Anyways, also I know there's like a meme where like it's like a monkey who sees a belly button and is like, ugh. So I already feel like there's something there within like pulp culture, or not pop culture, but like internet community, I guess. Anyways, so then I made that one, and there's a whole moment, like a solid minute of me showcasing this mod, which is the most provocative. I even hint to it in the beginning, so I think it all works. Anyways, I don't mean to talk to you guys about video design so much, but yes, I can't describe how it's really helpful having these buckets that I've talked about like 2 weeks ago, and the channel seems to be benefiting from it too, because it's kind of just adding to what is already there. So if, like I say, if in like 2 months, if I can keep filling up those buckets that we have, the like a Curious Pervert one video we have, the storytelling God Eye POV, and then we have the first person POV storyteller. RP is a good way to put that one. Then 4 months from now, when each one of those buckets has like 4 or 5 videos, if you happen to like one of the videos, you probably like the others. And that's something I got away from. I kind of got too I want to do this and do that and do this, and not realizing, well, no, this doesn't exactly work. How can I change it so that it can fit in one of these places? And that, I think, is a good idea. Anyway, sorry to talk so much about myself. Thank you for letting me ramble, though. But yeah, the next video is a Star Wars video, and it's always difficult to sell pulling you guys into a story, to like almost making you believe what I'm trying to tell you. It's easy when the game is doing half of the heavy lifting. It's hard when I gotta do like a lot of narrative things, like reactionary things to make it work. And I'm also one guy, but this video took me like 4 days to edit. This one I'm finishing, and I hopefully should either upload it tomorrow or the day after that. Hopefully tomorrow, though. I gotta make a thumbnail, so maybe that'll push it to on Monday. Thumbnail making takes a long time. Fluff says, I purchased the assembled my first custom desktop PC. Oh, right, for this whole thing. Yeah, what do you call it? Fluff, you did. Oh, wait, was it like the beginning of last year that you ended up getting the job? Because I thought that was also a big hallmark that you did. I purchased and assembled my first desktop PC, survived this current job for over a year time. That's damn good, Fluff. That's damn good. And Fluff definitely killed it. As far as, again, I shouldn't, like, Fluff, again, once again, most people here will probably diminish, or maybe they just don't want to write a fuck ton of text, which is also fair. But I've lived through that with Fluff to some extent. Fluff has kept me up to date on his whole things happening, because I, of course, am interested. And him going into this job, having to deal with, I remember at the fucking beginning of the year when we were playing Bone Lab. No, Bone Works, I think. Maybe it was Bone Lab, I don't know. But there was like tons of weird reorganizing constantly where like Fluff's advisor was like changing every fucking month, it seemed. And I was just like, man, that's gotta suck. So that you survived through. You also seemingly developed a great deal of like communication skills, because it seems like everyone in that job seems to really connect and like lock into both like you and them, which is good. And yeah, also again, the fact that I think you're getting to a point where you're like, I've done this, I've survived this, I'm now, it's kind of like just a balancing thing. Now where else do I want to go, which is what we were talking about a couple streams ago, which I thought was really interesting, because for a lot of people that it takes a lot longer of a time for them to realize, hey, I can do more, and there might be a lot of benefit in me doing more for someone else, you know what I mean? So you kind of start being like, you start getting confidence in your capability and your ability to learn and develop, I guess. Like trusting that, oh, I could go to this job, I did it here, I could do it there. And yeah, and that's awesome to see. 'Cause sometimes people stay in like a job for like 4 or 5 years just because it's serene, you know, and that's fine. It's totally fine. Not everyone needs. I hate the whole fucking notion of like grind set, baby, grind set, fucking kill it. Just, fucking Tim Dillon is one of the better comedians that has a bit about it, which is like, why does everyone need to fucking gun it their whole life? Like, relax. Like, Jesus. Your happiness may not be other people's happiness, and let them be. You shouldn't like force people to do your path or whatever, even if you perceive it to be happier, you know? Delta says, let it die, of course. What do you mean? You've just been grinding Let It Die this whole year? That's good to see, man. Again, I'm happy that game keeps getting played. I think it's a good game. I wish... I would have loved to see a $60 version of Let It Die rather than the paid monetary system, because yeah, I think Let It Die without the like death medals and all that stuff, it was just a really balanced game that was roguelike and difficult, but wasn't. I still feel like the Let It Die endgame is weirdly scaled for death medals. And the only people that ever fight me on that are people who have played like 3,000 hours of the game and have mapped out every single fucking hit. And I'm like, my guy, like, Jesus. It's not that it's impossible. It's just that there's a barrier of entry of like, you've spent so much time learning that you could have just spent $60 and been like, fine. You've probably less time. Anyways, that always comes back to bitterness. Anyway, Fluff says, I purchased, oh right, sample that. Fluff says, while I don't know how about non-Steam games overall playtime for 2023, I've got nearly equal amount of percent for Skyrim, BG3, and Remnant 2. Man, oh, I feel like Remnant is one of those things where like I feel like there are some games that I think you benefit a lot from like plugging yourself into the community. But I also think a lot of what made Remnant special was like killing a boss and then finding a cool piece of gear and then being like, ooh, how good is this? Instead, because Remnant 1 kind of fostered a community of like guide makers and like information overload, stuff like that, I feel like everyone was conditioned for like 2 days after launch to look at the wiki to be like, okay, where is the gun that I want? Where is the weapon that I want? And things like that. So I wonder if I kneecap my experience a little bit by like kind of looking at so many guides and knowing exactly where to go and to get the things I wanted. And then because what happens is you realize like, oh, my build's made. And it's not like there's a new toy for me to improve my build or whatever. So then you kind of end up being like, okay, well, I'm done. Now the only thing that's left is to scale up the damage. So then it loses the carrot on the stick a little bit, you know? Also, this should be fucking turned straight up, not to the right. It's like doing this. Anyways. Raid says, pretty sure my most played game this year was Destiny 2. Okay, I wasn't sure. I feel like Destiny 2 is one of those games that like, I've heard you mention it like maybe 4 or 5 times. Like maybe like every 3 months I'll hear you say something about Destiny. But also Destiny's one of those games that people like quietly play and never talk about. It's the only second to League or something. Something that's truly toxic. Raid says, not sure how to feel about it. Yeah, well, dude, I don't know, Raid. Again, I can't. There's 2 games that I have like a knot in my heart because I love them so much. And they turn like, you know, it's like loving somebody. Like it's like you being I'm not even kidding. It's almost like you being in a relationship with like a friend. And then you hanged out every day. You fucking loved each other deeply. You still like, there's moments when you're like, that's my boy, that's my homeboy right there. But then in the span of like 2 years, you completely grow apart, like into completely different people. You're into different things. So there's like this love and reverence for them. And in the same way, there's kind of like this hyper distance and like sorrow because you're like, I can't get on with you anymore. We turned into different people. And I don't know what to do with it, you know? I feel that way about Destiny, and I feel that way about Genshin. Yes. But Destiny is a weird one, man, because Destiny, to me, I have more of like, it could have been great. Genshin, I'm like, why did you do what you did? You know? And I think Destiny's in a much better place now. I think I could get into Destiny again. It's also like, do I want to? It's like an abyss. A fun abyss. Maybe, if you have friends to play with. Lone says, honestly, Grin, as soon as I saw Nikita oh fuck, I was gonna say that, Lone. I have two images for my thumbnail, and I was gonna ask you guys which one you guys like more, and it's fucking tough. So I had one where it's like the abs, and then it's like the main thing you're looking at, and then there's like the thing that's supposed to build curiosity or reinforce the other image. So it's like the little furry, cute wolf boy thing going like, look at that. Kind of doesn't look great because it's all white, no contrast, hard to really distinguish what he's doing. Kind of gotta look at it for a minute, but people can at least understand furry. Now, I do have another one, which is instead of the furry dog guy, it's a Nikita. And I thought that one might be better because it's pink, and I gave it a black background ish, so it's less like colorful in general. So then this like bright pink thing could stand out theoretically. I don't know. I still didn't upload it, especially like it's been a while since the video was like really done well, and that video is really doing well. So like a part, like everyone knows what to do when your thumbnail, when your video is shitting itself. You gotta change shit. But when stuff's going well, you're kind of like, okay. Because whenever you change a thumbnail or a title, YouTube basically looks at it again to see like, okay, you did something. Let me be fair and actually push it to new people and see if that one worked. You can only do that so many times before YouTube's like, stop it, bitch. You playing games. But yeah. Fluff says, yeah, I would lasted far too many coworkers. I'm the last one standing, bitches. And higher ups. than I ever expected. Yeah, man. I'm still surprised though, Fluff. You haven't. Maybe you're just really like a generous person, especially with people having bad days or good days or saying whatever. But I was surprised. Like, those are the kind of jobs where I could see some people who, like, everyone talks about how customer service people or anyone who's working in those kind of sectors. Maybe it's different. Maybe I'm getting conflated with like customer service people who work at like cash registers and people who work like putting pallet jacks on shit or whatever it be. Maybe they're different people, but I was surprised by how many people you went through, and you never once had a story really of like people being garbo, you know, people being shitty to you, or people being like vindictive or evil in-house drama. It seemed like everyone kind of was pretty chill as far as your bosses go. Fluff says, my plan is to stick with the job for at least 1 more month whilst I hunt for something I can do at home/remote. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm curious what you're going to be doing. Remotely is interesting. That one is, that one's really interesting because I'm curious how many people have that in them. Now, I'm a person who believes like, yeah, remote play can absolutely work, but I do also think it's almost like, I mean, I don't want to get political, but it's almost like this idea of like we should just give everyone a ton of money to live, and then not assuming that people are going to handle that terribly. You know, it's like I'm for it, but also there should be some balancing act of like, are you the kind of person that can genuinely be good about this, or are you the kind of person that's going to like not be good about this? In the case of like working remotely from like home or something like that, I think that could be, it's interesting because you have to like be really what is it called, adamant about what you do, but it's such a toxic conversation if you ever heard anyone talk about like remote working and stuff like that, because everyone's not playing fair. It's like every debate nowadays, but like no one is having an honest conversation about it of like, is it conceivable that a person slacks off when working from their house? Yes, it's possible for sure, but is it also possible to just look at the work that they were doing before before they were remote, and even maybe just using a mass data set of all of your people doing this type of job, and what the high end and the low end of productivity and like work being completed kind of thing, and then contrast that with them working from the office to working remotely. Did it change in a massive way? If it did change in a massive way, you could point out, hey, this is what you need to hit in order for us to be back on track, and then you're good. And yeah, but people also argue, I think there's also people who are like, one of the things that the pandemic did, which I still think is hilarious, sorry, that one's fucked up to laugh, but so many people were like, you know, I haven't talked to someone in like a week and I'm starting to lose my mind, and I'm like, these people exist? I've heard about extroversion and shit like that, but I couldn't even imagine. But anyways, so many of those people were like, I fucking can't. They're like losing their mind because they haven't like had an interaction. So a part of me also thinks the whole like working from home or working from the office thing is partially because people are like, I need to not only have this place where I work, but also where I can talk to people and like shoot the shit. Because right now it's clear that that the toll on my health has been heavy, and I can't continue without a serious. Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, especially with I think there are certain jobs I think would have a extraneous thing, and I think if you need to almost have like some background where you've almost been like tempering your body for that kind of work, and even then you're still going to have like a nightmare of 2 months. But eventually I think you almost need to have a body that's like entirely okay with doing that, constantly being in this kind of taxation place. And even then I think it's still going to kick your ass. It may be just an evolutionary thing, like, yeah. But also, that's the other thing, Fluff. You've also took like statistically what is the hardest job as far as health-wise goes, which is that you have a night shift. So that's crazy. I remember when we talked about this, I'm like, Fluff, that's kind of like, I feel like that's heavy. Not only are you, yeah, I'm sorry, let me throw this at you. I just remember when we first started talking about this job, you were telling me about it, I'm like, yeah, no, I get that the night shift would be like fun and be good, but it's also like, that's going to be kind of hard on your body, I feel like, because when you were like, I'm a night person, I'm like, yeah, I'm too, yeah. And then, but I'm also like, but also it's like a physically exertive job. And like, do you have a background with that? And you were like, I think it'd be fine. I'm just going to ease into it. Like, it makes sense. All makes sense. But Yeah, in hindsight, that was a lot. maybe I'm off. Maybe it's something different. Delta says, you're right. I would love to see a full price Let It Die game, not a free to play model. It would be so. Yeah, man. I agree. Have you ever played a game, Delta, called Killer is Dead? It's not made by MiHoYo, but it is made by Suda51, I think. And it's just a really hyper strange game. But if you enjoy the stylization of Let It Die and like the kind of classic slasher beat 'em up kind of game. When I say beat 'em up, it's like it's just a slugger. So like you're just slashing the shit out of people doing combos. It's kind of like DMC, like Devil May Cry. But it's a really unique game, and it has such a unique art style that you could go back and play it today and it still look great. The mechanics are kind of basic, but other than that, it's really good. It's a third-person game, kind of like a DMC. You play this guy with like a fucking tuxedo and shit with like a robot arm named Mondo. It's rad. Delta says, I spent $300 on it today. I might have a problem. Delta, please. Delta, please stop. Oh, Delta. I can't even, man. I hear. Oh, sorry, I'm not. Delta, I'm not judging you. Hey, I'm not judging you. Okay, but here we go. I'm not judging you, but I was gonna say, over the years of playing Genshin and Let It Die, and Raid being in the chat, people spending money in video games, like microtransaction-wise, I can't even conceive of somebody dropping $150 into a video game in the span of a month, you know? And I could kind of conceive it if they had like enough weird value things where like, oh, there's the game, there's like a monthly book card, which you get like a chunk of Primo Gems or a chunk of whatever, like a pass. And then they have like a season pass where it's like, oh, some season passes are good, some season passes are crappy. This season pass is really good. So then you're like, okay, I'm gonna get the bookmark milk card key, whatever it's called. Like you hit I don't know. I'm gonna take a chunk of Primo Gems every day, the daily card, whatever it is, for like $10, sure. And then I'm gonna get this stupid $60 season pass because this season pass works perfectly for whatever. Boom, $40. And then maybe you spend money on like summonings if it's a crazy game. But the idea that you got $300, like I just think you're rich. You must be so rich. And then I think about it and I'm like, I don't think you guys are rich. you guys are just like, hey. And honestly, it makes some sense if you think about it. Like if you're getting a lot of enjoyment, entertainment, and like meaning and fun and joy from this thing, absolutely. Like, you know, people spend their money on like alcohol or like going eating out every day. And if we could measure happiness ratings and your happiness is way higher than theirs and they're just doing this random other shit, then do you. But I'm just the kind of person that it's funny because I do spend money on some things. I guess everyone has their thing. But $300 is just like that would seem like a punch, you know? Yeah. But I suppose it is the holidays. So maybe you got some money kicking around from family or holiday festive things. Just chilling. What's good, just chilling. Love the name. Says, speaking of Let It Die, I have been grinding the anniversary event. Ooh, good, getting after it. Just, I'm gonna call you chilling. What do you call it? Yeah, man. I want to ask and be like, I mean, they've always been kind of good. They're kind of good in like you don't have to grind as much. Like the events are like, hey, do you want to get more of a resource? Okay, so instead of spending 4 hours in Tengaku or whatever, you have to spend 2. But there's still, I remember last time I jumped in the game, there's still like, you have to kill White Steel on Nightmare mode and you get 3 death medals. You're right, 4 death medals. And I'm just like, most of the end game is defined by the fucking stew, okay? Ooh, generous, you know, again, in hindsight, Genshin's real generous game, okay? Oof. Also, they kept stacking the amount of mushrooms in the pool. So it just like, they were able to get like nutty good because it didn't matter because it just incentivized people to wish and your chances just get marginally lower and lower every single time they add like 50 new mushrooms until eventually they were like, yeah, the fucking odds are like 2% that you get something you could actually want. Anyways, being toxic again. Let's calm down. Chillin says, also playing the UFC For Honor a lot lately. Ooh, For Honor. Man, that's a game I haven't heard about in a while. That's one of those games I enjoyed seeing how much of, like, there are certain games, almost like the Dead by Daylight community, the For Honor community, Titanfall community in a way. There's like these weird subsects of games that, and I'm not sure if I'd say failed, but they didn't like, they're not like, again, I think we're also conditioned in this world to like, a game needs to make $1 billion every fucking quarter or some shit. And it's nuts that we've kind of been like, yes, that makes sense. Oh, a game has every microtransaction you could ever want and sometimes gives you gameplay that you want. That's normal. And, ugh. Lone says, let's see, I've gotten better at digital art and entered my first fan art contest. Oh, I don't remember that. That's awesome. Sold 2 commissions, watched too many anime to count, and finished a good amount of games. Yeah, for me, I've been slacking as far as all that goes. My anime went down vigorously. My manhwa fucking shot. Also manga. I would never have thought. I was an avid anime watcher and thought, who got the fucking time to read? Okay? But then you realize 80% of anime are of cool concepts, but the really fucking amazing ideas and fun stories are hidden behind like exposition and world building and shit like that. And no studio is gonna be like, ugh, I just want character to become God, and then for it to make $1 million in one season, and then just never make another season again. And I hate it. So then I've kind of grown for manhwa and manga. Weirdly, I keep getting manga suggestions, so I think it's just because there's much more manga than there is manga. Or sorry, than there is manhwa. For those guys who don't know, manhwa is like colored. It's like super colored, super detailed, the whole thing. And then manga is just drawn, colorless. But still, it's just like, I could see manhwa taking a lot longer. Plus, I had some of that when I started. I had a borderline useless coworker and another that was pretty abrasive. But as it is now, we're all just trying to get through our respective shifts. Everyone gets to that point of like, yeah, we're working through it. Delta says, yeah, made by the same people who made Let It Die. I heard of it before. I never got the chance to play it, but I am planning on it. Ooh, I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on it. I don't know. I thought, was it made by the same people who made Let It Die? Maybe it's the same studio. I know Pseudo made it, I think, but I don't know if Gung Ho or Grasshopper Manufacturer made it. Maybe they did. It's tough, man. That fucking Pseudo 51 and Grasshopper Manufacturer, I think they're like neck and neck. Like there's the same. I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe they are the same people. I don't know. Pseudo 51 is making a new game though, and yeah. I am sad though. I remember when I learned a lot more about Shadows of the Damned. I got so depressed because the guy who I liked so much who made it, it was never the game he wanted to make at all. And it's kind of like a sad story of how EA just ripped apart creativity. And I just thought, but I really like Garcia and the cool British man. He's like a good companion. I don't know. Lone says, I remember when I watched Tectone's video of dropping thousands of dollars in Genshin. I remember that Staff of Home video. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, there is like a thing for some people. Like, I think, I don't know. Like if we were to take Tectone, for example, which I think is an interesting example, there's clearly like a type of person that is naturally okay with like playing with money to that extent. I will always, I think, err on being a person who's very cautious. But for people who are willing to like play it to the wire, then I think they do good. The only way I think I could maybe become okay at that is if I like made it explicit in my mind and to you guys. Like when we're playing Withering Waves, I would like to like make Withering Waves maybe like a good side game for us permanently whenever it comes out. Fucking whenever that is. Also, have you guys seen Nightingale gameplay? Nightingale gameplay looks awesome. Maybe I should pull some up to show you guys. But anyways. There's another game I thought would be cool to play like by itself because it's a single player co-op, or no, it's a co-op but no versus survival like game, like Ark Survival Evolved kind of, except without dinosaurs. Anyways, on the whole like paying thing, it seems to work out for some people because like I've seen a video recently with Tectone's house and he like lives in a fucking mansion and you're like, clearly clearly it's, you know, yeah, it's like, it's clearly just this, like, oh, if I just subsidize 5% of what I have with subscribers, and then I just wish, and I can even justify that's the price of doing business because it kind of keeps people stimulated and engaged. And yeah, it's funny because there was a whole conversation about like gambling streams on Twitch and YouTube and Twitch. But it's funny that like, yeah, the whole gotcha economy kind of was just like flourishing at that same time, and no one really seemingly drawed the parallel. And I'm like, they're the fucking same. Like it's an exciting dopamine release of whether you're gonna fail or win. It's the same kind of mechanic, you know. It's also just, well, maybe not just as predatory, but still very predatory. Anyways. I did my big ticket for the Christmas thanks to the decent sale of leaning up on the... Yeah, what did you end up getting? What did everyone end up getting for any sort of sales on Christmas? Anything you guys could buy on the Boxing Day sales or something like that? Boxing Day sales? I think I did appreciate Fluff sent me a goddamn Humble Bundle, and I bought it because I can't help it. I can't help it. I didn't have a lot of the VR games. I didn't even want some of them, but I just like, it's $20, and I'm gonna... This is like the... I want to play them. Again, I totally understand now how people could have like 500 Steam games and never have touched any of them. It's just because like they're like, fuck it, I'll play it eventually, and your ass will not. You have not enough time. Okay. Delta says, I'm not rich, I'm broke right now. I see. So it's more of like a full send kind of problem. Well, I hope you recover, Delta. Chillin says the events are cool. All you had to do is kill screamers for any of them. Yeah. Usually, again, my whole point, Chillin, was that like the materials that you get are plentiful. Like they're always like, yeah, here's 20 ultra pure iron if you just kill like a boss, the like lowest floor boss 10 times, sure. But as far as like the currency that I think, at least in my head, would give you like the most power gain, as far as like your ability to handle Tengeku or handle Forcemen with greater ease, is decals, essentially, like the stickers. And I think that's the stuff they hold behind. Like, they very rarely will give you any death medals, period. Like, maybe you get, I think in a year I could see you getting 20. And that's if you're doing everything, and some of the things that give you like 5 are like fucking absurdly difficult to do. Fluff says, I never spent a cent on Genshin, nor Star Rail, but I did buy something for Tower of Fantasy, but I'll probably heavily consider putting money into ZZZ. It ends up hook. Yeah, I don't know. ZZZ looks fun. Like, I think that might be a game we just play just to see. But, I don't know, man. As far as like spending, I don't know, there are games where I feel like it kind of makes sense to spend money. Like the Tower of Fantasy one, like I feel like out of all of those games, Tower of Fantasy was the one that seemingly, I don't know, depends. But it seemed like you could get a lot out of moving fast in that game. I want to pull up some gameplay, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to show you guys this game that I've been looking at for a while called Nightingale. And I gotta do it in a weird way of, I have a thing for this. Let's see. Is this the right one? Where's my goddamn thing? It's... No, don't do that, Windows, you stupid asshole, trying to pin this thing. What is it called? Where is it? I have it here. It's somewhere. There it is. Be right back. Let me search something real quick. Nightingale. Good. It still works. I don't know how to fucking spell that at all. Good. Sure, that looks like it's gonna make my computer crash, but sure. Alright, so this is one of the games that I'm pretty interested in this year. Looks very neat. Sorry for being in La La Land for a little bit there. But yes, this is one of the games that I'm pretty interested in. It's called Nightingale. Did I loop it? I should check if I looped it. I looped that son of a bitch so you guys don't see like my suggested, and then you guys see like a bunch of weird anime shit that I can't help but people fucking in the anime community just go ham on thumbnails, etc. Fluff says, speaking of work, I should be heading off here shortly as I got a shift tonight. Last night left me feeling pretty worn out. Yeah, definitely get some sleep and rest up. But I appreciate you popping in, Fluff. I'm happy you achieved so much this year, and I hope next couple months lead you to exactly where you want to be as far as the job you're interested in and things like that. But we always appreciate having you in this community. So I don't think I'll be able to do full shift this time. Yeah, that's fair. Again, don't push yourself too hard, especially if you're already kind of like, yeah, I'm already gonna move away. It's best to rev up in the last 2 weeks so that they're like, hey, if someone calls me and asks how I was as a worker, you're not gonna shell over me. Delta says the anniversary quests this time are really nothing special, but you can get a lot of extremely rare medals you would need to climb extremely high in Tengaku. Yeah. Again, that's all 100%. Yeah, I could see that all happening with Let It Die. The only issue that I've always had with Let It Die, especially when it comes to like, you guys have been playing our game for 8 years. You've been supporting us and giving us tons of money for that long, even though we refused to update it for 6. Holy shit! Guess what, guys? We're gonna update some stuff. We're gonna give you some stuff, but guess what? We're also going to mainly give you more decals to buy and no death medals to help give you a free cup of pulls. That's my only issue. My only issue is that, like, I feel like 8 years in, when people are playing your game still, that's when you could be like a little flagrant. You could be like, fuck it, go for it. You know, here's some more shit. Instead of it being like, yeah, want it now? No. Again, it's good that you get materials, but to me, I think the biggest thing is the decals that make or break. Not make or break, but they massively can help your progression outside of like, oh, I leveled up my chess piece an extra 5 times. Great. I get 2 shot instead of 1 shot. I'm being toxic. I need to calm down. Lone says, Grin, I remember that I asked you when you gonna start reading manga, and you said, let's calm down. So so every time you mention it, it makes me most smart. If I was Lone, I will take that on the fucking chest, my guy. I cannot describe to you how, to me, I was like, listen, man. There are a few things I will never do, okay, that I can confidently say ain't happening. I have think of how absurd this is. I have a list of anime just fucking infinitely growing bigger, and you're trying to tell me that I'm going to watch something that is not amplified by sound, delivery of performance based on actors, and it's just simple. I just sit down, I take it in, I don't have to read whatever. We're crazy. We're crazy people. What are you doing? Absolutely not. And then this stupid boom on YouTube happened, which is called like the manhwa recap, where, dude, it was awesome actually. It was awesome to see so many people who were like starting YouTube jump onto this one thing and then just fucking explode. Doesn't this game look sick? Anyways, it probably will be clunky when it comes out, but it's very, very cool right now. But yeah, seeing so many people like explode from just like reviewing manhwa, I feel very much like it was almost identical to how things happened in the gaming scene, where like back in the day when gaming first came up on YouTube, people were like, "This is stealing." Like, what? You're devaluing the property so much, not realizing that most people are not going to fucking even. It's about advertising. It's about people. If people know and are interested in the thing, then they'll pursue it, which now is exactly why like the manhwa scene and the manga scene, like recap channels on YouTube, have exploded, and they're continuing to do really good, but they've leveled out. The reason why I think they've leveled out is because people are basically using their videos to go watch manhwa, or not watch, read manhwa. So they're using their videos as basically glorified, like, is this worth your time or not? It is. Go watch it. And now like all of these YouTubers are just doing like the best advertising you could ever ask for all of these manga and manhwa companies. I don't know if they know it or not. I think there's a chance they are aware of it, but I do notice some videos get like taken down, so clearly some of them are like, no! But for the few that are like fully fucking do whatever you want, I'm sure they just sold like infinitely more copies of their work. And yes. Delta says, yeah, a manga to anime tends to cut and change too much stuff. Yeah, well, to me, man, I can't. Dude, I've seen this one manga that was so good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm kind of, it's like one of those ones that constantly kind of teeters on like, is this good? Maybe not. Maybe it's starting to lose me. Okay, no, that's good. So like it keeps pulling you back essentially. The manga is really cool. It's about this guy who He basically is like a hardcore gamer player. He chooses hell mode on one of his video games. He gets pushed into the video game, because of course he does, and he picks the class Summoner. But the difficulty with choosing the difficulty hell mode, whatever it's called, it basically makes it so that you can infinitely level up, but it takes, you're basically 100 people, so it takes 100 people's worth of experience to level you up to that same notch. So the main character, it's basically a really cool story of like a main character as like a kid. You see him at like 5 years old. Like basically gamifying the system, like using some of his summons to like slightly get better, do a little bit like fight, and he starts getting some experience, but like barely can level. In fact, he like fights tooth and nail just to level up once, and then as soon as he levels up to level 2, he gets access to his summons, and they can finally start kicking ass. But it's one of these stories where like the main character is constantly he's working for this noble, but then he's like going and adventuring and like tearing down hundreds of thousands of monsters in the forest, and then he just keeps doing that because he has to kill like 1,000,000 times more than everyone else just to get a level. So it's so fun. It's so fun seeing him basically, he does this other thing where he finds that like dungeons are more like servers. So when you go into the dungeon, it like loads up a server for your individual team. So then he just takes his summons and just gets them running missions constantly. So when he's at school, they're just grinding out XP for him, and he's slowly doing it. And then he like basically he gets his friends caught up immediately, because by the time like they make a group, he's already on like A rank dungeons. So he just basically carries them and brings them up like to full power. It's a real fun story. But anyways, we finally got to the point where like you're able to see what the power of a summoner is in this world, which is just basically like the most badass army commander you've ever seen, where he's like taking down millions, and they do such a good job about like building up. Like 1,000,000 demons is a lot. Like that takes 4 years to like clear them out. This kid did it in a month by himself. Not really, but kind of. And they just do a fun job of making it. I think it's called Hell Mode. If you were to look up Hell Mode Summoner, I think you'd find out whatever the actual name is. But it's a damn good one. Also, it has like good manga art, which sometimes it's not as great. But yes, Red, my boy says he overslept. You overslept? Everyone's saying something. Oh, my body. Ooh. Are you into these types of games, Red? Also, Lone, are you into survival-esque, like Ark Survival Evolved-esque games? Oh, my stomach. I'm gonna go air bubble from my stomach. Oh, damn it. I did want to ask Fluff something, but well, fuck it. Too late. You can fight giants. You can fight all kinds of things. I don't know if there's more to it. I hope that they're like, again, if a game like this did what Ark did, and then just also, yeah. Red's like, yes and no. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, you're still here? Okay, I wanted to ask you this, Fluff. Fluff. I'm not sure if I want to let you. I even told you guys, this is one of those things that you know when you're like going to pursue something, you're going to like try to do a new activity, and you're like, hey, maybe I should just keep this to myself. That way there's no like buy-in. Like say if you talk to your homeboys and you're like, dude, I'm going to get into salsa-ing. Just because fuck it. You know, there's girls there. I may talk to them. It could be fun. And then your homeboy like two months later is like, how's it going? And you're like, what? What do you mean? Oh yeah, no, I dropped that in the first 2 weeks. And I don't want to be, hell, I don't want to be judged, okay? I talked about this a couple of streams ago. Basically, I had the choice between, some of you guys already heard this, Lone and Red, I think heard this already. I basically had the choice of leveling up my PC's storage, which I was really interested in, but then I kind of seen that there wasn't like any great prices for like storage units. They were like okay, but nothing was like really good. And I kind of looked around and I kind of found out that storage for PCs is never like great. It's always kind of like, it just kind of ebbs and flows throughout the year. It's not like when you have Boxing Day or when you have Black Friday, they just become like garbo cheap, or like crazy cheap. So I was like, okay, this is something that I think if I buy like 5 months from now, it will still be roughly the same price than me buying it now. Also, I have plenty of storage, so I was kind of like, I could do it if I wanted to, but I don't really feel like anyways, point is, for a while now, one of the things that I've been wanting to do is get some sort of way of creating some type of like sound. Like I want to do some type of like I'll be like editing a video, and I'll have to go and like search for like hours and hours to find. It's weird. I have to go to like an old ass kids game with like a soundtrack for like you doing math or something, just to find the tune that I want, which is simple as shit, but just makes it like a thing that you did in the video stand out more. Like da 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 da. That's it. Or like bum 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 bum. As like you're like fucking around doing nothing. Like you're just twiddling your fingers. Like I needed something that sounds that almost amplifies that like mundane dumbness, essentially. Anyways, so that's something that I wanted to do, and so then I ended up being like, well, why don't I buy like, well, I was going to sleep one night, and I thought, how expensive is like a keyboard? Because I've always thought they're like $2,000, $3,000 for a keyboard, clearly. And then I looked on Amazon, and it was like $100, $90, $200, $300. I was like, okay, that's shocking to me. That actually seems like it's kind of in the same sphere as that. As something I'd be interested in actually buying. Like that's my budget, essentially. I could work around that budget and feel good about it, especially if it's for something like YouTube. I can spend money as long as it's on something that I'm going to create with. So I was like, okay, let me do that. And then I made the choice, which was either good or bad, where I had a piano, which I found for like, I think it was like $150. So I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I made the choice of being like, well, I don't really know a lot about pianos at all. Let me go watch a video about like the best budget version of the thing I want to do, which is like make these kinds of sounds, that kind of stuff. Long story short, I found out that actually I don't want a piano at all. I do not want a piano, absolutely not. In fact, I probably should talk to you guys about this, because I'm sure you guys would have been like, Grin, you don't want a piano, you want a synthesizer. You want like a keyboard that can basically play any note or anything. You basically want a glorified Steam Deck, or no, fucking Oculus button pressing thing, whatever it's called. Elgato Stream Deck, that's what it's called. That's what Red was trying to say, by the way, and I misunderstood it. Fluff explained it to me. Thank you, Fluff. Anyways, so I ended up finding this video of a person talking about like, okay, there are these things you want to look for like pressure sensitive keys, which is awesome, by the way. So like when you press a key, instead of it going like you hit a key and then it just says a note, it can tell it, like it basically has a pin where every single time the like how quickly you press it hits both of these little tiny pins together, and that measures the time interval of them clicking, essentially, and that measures the pressure of you pressing the key. So it's fun. Yeah, you can like basically play like a soft key by tapping it gently and then playing a hard key. So anyways, I was like, okay, I watched this video of a person explaining all these things and like what is the best budget one that you could get. And of course, it ended up being slightly more money than I was kind of wanting to spend. Especially like you don't account for bullshit things like, hey, guess what? You wanna have like a cool little piano thing? Guess what? You're gonna have a desk that can hold that piano, or like not a desk, but like a platform that can hold that piano, a piano stand. Guess what? An extra $40. Guess what? It's just inching towards more of like a stop, please, not that much. Anyways, so I ended up buying this synthesizer, is I think what it's called. I hope that's what it's called. But anyways, I actually can't. It's one of those things where I want to show it to you guys, because it's basically just a keyboard. Just think of a keyboard right here, like keyboard right here. Let me just wrong way. Keyboard right here. There we go. Keyboard. The keys are right here. It's way bigger than this. A keyboard. And then at the top right corner, there's a bunch of dials that control like reverb, all of these things. And then to the left, which I think is cute, there's like actual squares that are like pressure sensitive pads. I think they're called like pads. But you guys have probably seen them if you've seen any of those like dubstep fucking people like hitting 3 buttons at once with 5 fingers. It's like a weird Zoomer version of piano. Anyways, EDM shit. But it looked cool. And it's to me, the reason why I wanted to ask Fluff is because to me I feel like it's kind of a weird thing where like I did choose, and I did get Christmas money, which was why I even thought about any of this stuff. And my birthday's not too far off, so I thought I could do that with that. But yeah, I kind of made a choice. Instead of choosing something that would have been like good for like in the future, maybe, probably with the storage space. I basically chose something for fun, which I haven't done in a while. I haven't chosen like something that like I just bought this because it would be really fun for me. You know, it's usually always like I bought this because it could have a use case in the future that could be valuable to me, something like that. And I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that in a while. And I bought this one thing, and to me, it's weird because I ended up convincing myself for it because it ended up being like the way. Oh, Delta says, "What is it called? I'll try it." What do you mean what do you mean, like the keyboard? It's called Asus something. I can't. Oh shit! Let me know if you really want to know the actual keyboard. It's a little pricey. It's about what you spent on the polls today, and if you're in the U.S. it's less. I'm Canadian, so we have everything costs more. But yeah, to me, man, I convinced myself because I thought maybe it'd be cool to do. To have like something else to do, because I'm a very focus-driven person, which I like, but at the same time, I think it can also have a bad effect, where sometimes you can be so. This looks so fun. Sorry, it can be too much. Like you end up blacking out, and you get so close to what you're doing to where you can't even like pull yourself back and realize, oh, there's a problem that I'm not even looking at. And then until it's like blatantly obvious that you're like going downhill, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? You know, so I think having another thing to do, whether that's like, which is what this is kind of going to be, it's kind of going to be me doing YouTube and getting better at creating stuff, hopefully, and then managing life things when they arise, as well as basically pursuing, what was it called? Basically pursuing learning the piano, essentially. I shouldn't say piano, it's learning chords. Apparently there's like learning classical piano, which is fucking crazy. You gotta learn like sheet music, and it's a whole thing. Then there's about learning chords, which is like B minor, those kinds of things, which is fun. But anyways, it's a new thing to learn, so hopefully it'll be okay. And I don't know, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not sure. I really want to ask Fluff because I'm like, was it the right choice? Was it the right choice, or was it the wrong choice to buy this fun gift kind of thing, rather than something that could really be useful for the future? The only thing I think I'm okay in is I'm not at like capacity in any of my storage units, you know, and it's not like I couldn't delete stuff. So yeah, but I'm not sure still. I think hopefully it's gonna be okay. Red says, I like Ark kinda, but it's a third-person mode was terrible. Yeah. I think there's a third-person mode in this game though, but we'll see if it's good or not. But the third-person mod was terrible. I see. Love says survival genre games tend to be hit or miss. That's true. The ones I like are Conan Exile, and I really picked up similarities, which is like Grounded and Conan Exile. Well, I was gonna say this one. The one thing I have heard, which I was surprised about, is how much this game is like really embracing community, which is shocking. So like they have a Discord server, they constantly are asking people what they want, what they're wanting to do. Like I think the game was originally planned to be like kind of a Rust / Ark inspired game, like Ark Survival Evolved, where there's like PvP essentially, and everyone basically was like, I don't want a game where people can fuck up my fun. I don't want that at all. So they're like, okay, how about instead we basically give you a world to explore with your friends, basically like a massive co-op world with like multiple different levels where we can add like a different portal into a new realm that has new monsters and new gear and new all this stuff to get. But it's basically just you and your friend chilling. Like you don't have to worry about people breaking your shit, people sieging you. You just get your own little world, own little worlds. Because I think the whole point of this game is that like you're going into realms through like these giant portals into each realm. I'm curious how that works though. Like, are you able to like take some of your stuff with you? The art style I'm into. It's like more of a stylized than it is like a detailed kind of game. I don't know what it has as far as like the hook. Because right now it looks like there's great base building. Looks like there's great like killing monsters. I think there's gonna be a questing system, which is fun. The fact that it's co-op and not some sort of weird, competitive against each other kind of thing, I enjoy. But I don't know if it's like, do we have access to magic? Can we build like an economy? Can we, this would be my ideal, could you tame and like cultivate monsters? because that'd be rad, because some of the monsters look crazy. Like, there's giants. Imagine if you could, like, tame a giant and then have a giant do shit for you, like transport wood, you know? And things like that. Given it's co-op, I imagine it's, I don't know, I could see it just being like a, here's some quests, here's some buildings, go ham, you know? Character customizer did look pretty good, though, apparently. I seen, like, a video showcasing how detailed it can be. You can get pretty detailed. Everyone kind of looks like they're from a Dishonored world, although prettier. But yes. Alone says, also, Grin, I wanted to show you some of the waifus. Ark is those games when I would rather... Oh, sorry. Alone says, Ark is one of those games where I would rather watch someone else play it than play it myself. Oh, it's such a good thing to say, Alone. That is such a good way to put it. Especially, like, I would rather watch someone who edits a video around it. Like, there are certain games like Minecraft really works really well, Ark works really well, but the aspect of somebody being like, I'm gonna cut it out, is so fucking nice, because so much of that game is just waiting and twiddling your thumbs, and you're like, please God, let me just see what happens. Lone says, also, Grin, I want to show you some of the waifus from Eclipse when you get a chance. Yeah, absolutely, hit me with it. Also, I appreciate, like, one of the things I always enjoyed about The Forest, you guys remember that game? Sons of the Forest or Forest, was how, like, it looked, I enjoyed things like that. Like, when you actually are hitting something, and you're seeing, like, the destructible damage of you hitting something, is super satisfying. And The Forest, like, did it once, then never did it again. This game, it looks like you're actually, like, taking chunks out of a rock and shit. It looks satisfying. I'm not sure if I love the art, or, like the art, like, the clothing. I'm not sure if I love the Britishness in this. But if it has mods, which Ark did, I would say it doesn't matter. I think you can look probably however you want. But yeah. And considering how open this game is, especially as far as the community goes, I have high hopes that mods will be along the horizon. Fluff says, nothing wrong about spoiling yourself with something fun, even if it doesn't have immediate application of your existing job / hobby. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. You have told me what I want to hear. Thank you. I sincerely mean that. If you were to be like, I'm not sure, Grin, you made the wrong choice, I'd be like, oh, fuck. Well, I've already made it, so fucking, I guess what it is, what it is. Fluff says, similar to me getting an art table. Or an arcade fighting stick. What do you mean an art table? What's that? What's an art? I didn't know that. That's awesome to hear of, what do you call it, Fluff? What's, tablet. Oh, tablet, sorry, art tablet. That's so awesome, Fluff. I can't wait to see what you're drawing. I imagine it's probably, like, imagine there's moments where you can draw and there's moments when you can't. And you might be in a moment where you can't because your job and your hand and all that shit's happening. But that's awesome to hear, Fluff. Red says, no mods. I mistyped. I really wish I could. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I know it's annoying in what do you call it, YouTube, where it just lets you delete the comment. Fluff says, yeah. Also, I like seeing the imperfections. I like when someone, like, types something and it's like, fuck, I mean this. God, I can't speak. I like that. I don't like when people are like, it almost looks more sus when you're like, don't look. I'm like, what did you say to me? Did you just shit all over my whole family? What happened? Yeah, the PvP elemental tends to turn me off from survival games. Dude, same. That's why when the devs were like, fine, we're reworking it, we're not putting PvP in there, I was like, thank you. I just want PvE. I just want to play with my friends and not have to fucking worry about people shitting on my life. Okay. Games like Conan Exile require some overall mods to make the game fun for PvE and co-op. Yeah. I thought so. The what do you call it? Conan, that game looked like it was so good, but it came a little too early. As much as this game is stylized, you can still see the fucking pores on the people's face. Or you can get chonkers if you want. Nightingale reminds me of a new world, but not in a bad way. Ooh, that's a good thing. Yeah. Again, if they had mods, like good mod support, I think that'd be huge. To me, I'm into all of this. I'm into the art style. I'm into the the fact that, like, I think it's really clever the way they've set this up. Like, unlike Ark Survival Evolved or something like that, I think it's really clever for them to have, like, built into the game's lore and the whole idea of what you're doing, like, hey, we're going to the realm that is filled with dungeons. Randomly generating dungeons. So then you go and do the dungeon, then you bring it back to your main world, and then you just fucking go nuts. And then maybe even one of your friends can stay at the main world, the server where your house is, and then your other friends can go, like, raiding for a bit. And then your other friends, like, fucking building a base while you guys are, like, kicking ass and getting resources. That's awesome. Or if they're like, hey, we have this new big expansion or new update we're coming, we're not gonna have to, like, remap the whole world and, like, fuck with the stability of the existing world. That's fucking crazy. How about instead we just make a new realm? We make a new realm. That's where all the things that you want to go get are. Go to that new realm, grind that shit, bring it back, go. That, I like the, like, systemizing of that, as far as, like, integration and things like that over time. And the fact that I have, like, a community of, like, that's just going crazy. Like, each, yeah, I very, very rarely hear people bring up, like, the fact that developers are, like, tuning things based on the community's wants, and actually doing it in the right way. Like, we're, like, they're listening to the things that actually matter and not people being like, I don't want to look that way. And like, bitch, we can't change the whole style now. You have to know. But see, when I see shit like this, I'm like, what is this game? Is it like Hogwarts? Do we have magic? Why is the giant letting me ride on his hand? Is he my summon? Is he my, like, friend? What is going on? What is happening? Alone says, I remember when I was playing Conan Exile with some friends, and these douchebags came raiding us, and I just turned off. Dude, exactly. I can't describe it, like, ooh, it's the same shit. Like, I would have loved to play Ark Survival Evolved, but that was one of the reasons I didn't want to play it anymore. This is back when, like, it was just coming out, but you couldn't pick, like, a non-PvE place. And if you did, there would still be some asshole who finds it like, oh, I can't kill you? Well, guess what? I can glitch into your base magically, or I can get a Tyrannosaurus Rex to, like, fake hit me, and then you passively destroy your wall, and then I jump in there, grab your gear or some shit. Yeah. Alone says, and I haven't played survival games since. you mean, like, you haven't played Minecraft or anything like that? Because that's brutal. That's brutal. Bluff says, I've had the art tablet for years. Oh, I didn't know that. I honestly just haven't had a lot of time. Do they? Yeah. Or motivation to use it. But I had one for whatever the opportunity. Right. That's good. That's awesome. That's a really good idea to have. Just that, especially if you want to get to it. But what do you call it? That was the other thing, man, that I'm thinking about. I am such a, like, fidgeter. Like, I can't watch something and without having something fiddling around in my hand. So I thought this was just like a passive thought, which could be total bullshit. But I had the feeling of, like, because right where I'm doing everything, I look to my left, and that's where the desk is gonna be. So there's gonna be a piano right to my left, and I could totally see myself being like watching a video and being like, you know, just like, and it's gonna be garbled chords, not making any sense. But there's also, like, a drum pad where you're sitting there going, like, boom, boom, you know. But that's the other thing, man. Like, talking about fluff, you know, there being an issue with drawing, or, like, not having enough desire, or even you know, it being complex, especially to draw stuff like that. Learning about, like, it's really weird. Like, if you had the idea or the want to be like, I want to be good at drumming, or I want to get better at drumming, I want to learn how to drum, use the drums, sure, right? That's something. You could also be like, I want to learn how to do the piano. Learning how to do something with a synthesizer, which is basically like a keyboard that can play any note, you can play, like, any sort of pitch as well. Yeah, it's kind of like, there's not, like, a thing that's like, here's how you play every instrument. Essentially, like, here is the baseline formula of how everything kind of sounds nice. No, I mean, there's harmonics, kind of, which I'm learning about. There's also, like chords, which just seems like the kind of general idea of things. But it does seem like you kind of need to know a little bit of everything, which is kind of scary, but also kind of nice, because I think that, like, the exquisite performance where, like, magic keys are, like, twinkling your eardrums when you're hearing piano be played is the like the 90% end. Like, 80 to 90% is when you get that, all right? but enough to where you can composite like some things, I think is like maybe 60% of understanding of it. I hope. I hope. Alone says, and I haven't played the 5-star Rocket since. Delta says, I was talking about the manga you were talking about earlier. I already. Oh, you got it? Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. I will warn you, Delta, about the manga. There are moments when it very much feels like it could kind of be confusing, and moments where it can kind of feel like it's slow. But I want to tell you that that's kind of the point. Like, it's funny, if you look at the comments, well, I'm not sure where you're reading it, but if you look at the comments of like where you're reading it, a lot of people, at least in my place where I read manga website, shall not be named, they were like, I'm pissed that the main character isn't getting strong yet. Why isn't the main character OP yet? Why is he so weak? So there's like a subsect of people who read manga who just want to see a character become overpowered immediately. This is the story that's not for that. This is a manga story that's basically really trying to slowly unravel this character's potential. And like some of the rules that I think are important to know that the game doesn't make, the manga doesn't make explicit, is basically the main character is at a mass deficit because he chose to play on hard mode, so he needs to grind like 1,000,000 monsters just to level up. Like, he needs to grind so hard just to get a little bit. Secondly, it's a story where you see the main character go from 5 to 15 throughout the course of the 50 chapters. Secondly, the manga things are long. So like each manga, each like chapter 1 is not like, here's a little spurt. It's like, no, here's a long, I shouldn't say it's long. But my point is that it's a manga where it's not trying to like instantly dopamine give you. It's supposed to like slowly, methodically develop this stuff coming out, and it's pretty fun. That's the one I've seen recently. But I just want to give you that baseline because some people were like, "This is getting boring," and I feel bad because right as soon as he gets to like, as soon as he basically gets free reign to hunt monsters in the forest, which I think is like around chapter 15 to 20. That's when you start seeing shit pop off. You sent me the things. I'll check it out in a minute alone. Fluff says, ironically, the Lego Fortnite game mode seems to be really competent survival. Yeah, I was surprised, man. I also find it kind of sad. Where like, I want Epic to make a game that isn't made for children. I mean, I want Epic to be like, we have billions of dollars. Let's fucking greenlight, I don't know, a fucking fast-paced Twitch Fiber FPS game. Instead of it being like, hey, we have a collaboration with another billion-dollar property. Here we go. I'm happy for people, but it's just like, I don't know. It's hard for me to get into Legos. Like, I want to actually play with Legos. I don't really want to play with like Legos in a video game. It's weird to me, you know what I mean? Yeah. Lone says, for context, that happened, I want to say 7 years ago. Conan Exile, 7 years old? Shit. Fluff says, oh yeah, my dad got me a golden snitch fidget spinner. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. How is it? Wait. No way. Is it like a legit golden snitch, or is it the one I have as well? Is it one of these sons of bitches, Fluff? This right here? This little guy? I'm not sure if it's the same one. Mine's a little tiny shrimp son of a bitch. Okay. But I also have, what do you call it? A little tiny... I'm not sure if it's a golden snitch. It's kind of like a non-suable golden snitch. But yes, what do you call it? I missed this swing 5 times. But yes, for those guys who don't know, I bought like a fucking like 8 fidget spinner things. I think the best one I ever got was this one. This one's dope. It's just like I can't, you guys not in frame. Okay, let me sit down, I can better see it. This, it's hard to see, but basically it's like a revolver with bullets. So you can like pop out the rounds in your hand and then like reload the fidget spinner essentially, which to me is like satisfying in its own way. And then it also spins. It's also heavy as shit. It actually feels like a bit really weighted thing. Also, you can like set it on your desk like this and then hit your you like use your finger to flip it. You know what I mean? It's super satisfying. This one's god level. Anyways, a person that has Fluff says it's like that. Yeah. I love that. It's more yellow and gold. Pretty much identical, otherwise. That's awesome. But great minds think alike. Because when I was sitting there, I was just flipping through like Alibaba, because that's where you can get a lot of those kind of things for like $1, which is wild. It's not terrible quality either. I don't think you need much with a fidget spinner. But the point is, yeah, it's great. I think I spent like $20. I got like all of those, and I thought this is fun. This is like a good. When I have an itch to do something like that, got it. Fluff says, I've only got 2 spinners thus far, a snitch and a blue cobalt version of a Genji shuriken. Well, that's epic. That's sick. I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that like I went down the rabbit hole a long time ago, and I tried to find like, there's got to be other things like this, right? Something that I can fiddle with my hands. There's kind of stuff. There's like one where you can like. There's something that can like infinitely roll. It's almost like a weird, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a square with like a little bit of a build up in the middle, and it can like infinitely roll essentially. There's also like magnets, but like there's not a lot that's quite the same. That's something that's satisfying to like do repetitively with your fingers. Yes. Fluff says, I want to find got it. Got it. This? You want to find this one? This little guy? This one right here? Mjolnir? Oh, this is one of those weird hobbies where like I never really I think I talked about it like a couple years ago, but it's so fucking funny that Fluff mentioned it. I'm like, this one? And then he'd say another one. I got this one too. But yeah, this one's fun. This one's great. This one's interesting because you can actually, it comes with like a Mjolnir handle, but it also comes with the ability for you to take this thing off. So then you can basically just turn it into a normal fidget spinner if you want, or a normal fidget, we'll say. Fidget spinner sounds dweeby. Okay, we're classy here. Okay, but yeah. Oh. I raise you, Fluff. This one. This little guy. It's impossible to see, really. but it's basically, it just has it's basically just this it's like a cool, it's not like exactly like a spinner or something like that. It's this part's flat, like there's nothing to push here, but there's just this circle that you can spin. And it's pretty cool. I like this one a lot because you can just sit there with your hand and just roll it like that, you know? Anyways, thank you for letting me vent about my weird passion hobby thing. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any cool fidget things that have come out in the last couple years that I've been like, ooh. There's one that's kind of like a square cube that you can like infinitely square adjust. Kind of neat. It looks like you're gonna pinch the shit out of skin. Well, it says actually it was last Common XL came out in January 30th, 2017, so almost 70. I see. Alpha says, yep, I was impressed how Marks never seemed to stop spinning. Oh, it definitely goes for a long time. What do you call it? Let me do this. I do think this one is probably the best. Ugh. Ready for this? All right, we're just gonna sit here. Enjoy the hissing. Also, I've had this for like 3 years. I have not done anything to it, so it's probably rusty as shit in there or something, or just like kind of scratchy. Probably less good than others. Fluff says, oh, I don't have a ring with a spinner portion too, but I forgot where I left it. Ooh, it's like a thing that's just like a circle with all that. Yeah, mine's already dying down. Weakness disgusts me. Anyways, Delta says, oh, don't worry, I like the slow burn. Okay, good. I read the gamer also speaks of the gamer. I would like to recommend that to hit me with it. What is it? What is it called? What is it called? This one I think might be better. Oh, there's a cobweb. Ooh. Can you see it? Kind of. Alright. I'm gonna fucking mess this up somehow. There we go. That one's better. Also sounds like a fucking turbine because it's so heavy. Red says, "You for my mod uploaded to YouTube right now. I'll DM you at GRINN once I'm done processing." Can't wait. Well, I'll hold off on ending the stream till we see that. I still gotta check out Lone's thing. He wants to show me though. Red says, Oh, no, you know, I seen like a fidget spinner for your ring. Yeah, unfortunately, you'll beat me on that one. I cannot, unfortunately, have that one. I will say, though, Fluff, if I could suggest any, like, super satisfying thing to fiddle with, is this thing. It's just a trainer, but it is so satisfying to do flippies. Even though I have never anyone else hearing GRINN's audio freaking out. Is it still fucking up? It was probably the spinner going ham. Is it still freaking out? Am I okay? I hope we're okay. How bad is it? Thank you for telling me, Ed, because sometimes y'all don't mention anything. Yeah, I wanted to get butterfly knife combo. Yeah, butterfly knife is amazing. Is it better? Or still shit? Test? I noticed as well, and yet none of you mentioned it. What in the fuck? Guys? Also, it is loud. Why is it so loud? I do get much louder on these streams, so that could be it as well. Wonder why. Well, thank you for telling me again, guys. Quickly. Would be awesome. You guys are like, I also noticed it, and yet I didn't say anything. What the fuck? Come on. That's also maybe because this is a little guy right here. Maybe was out of frame. It's fine for now. Oh no. Delta says it's hard to explain in the chat box, but the gist of it is the world where supernatural beings exist, gods, demons, etc. Gotcha. Got a bunch of supernatural. Gotcha. The main character awakens an ability of the gamer. Lets you be a real game character. I've not found many manga that I have not, or manga, sorry, that I haven't actually seen. So what is it called? Is it called Gamer? Because let me know, and I'll quickly search it up, and I'll see if I've seen it. Fluff says, granted, I don't have enough for anyone to utilize it as a combo. Granted, what? Oh, I see, yeah, I got combo, yeah. It was only a brief issue with the audio. It was only a brief issue with the audio, like you read, for email, sending me that thing to Discord. It recovered after you read the message. Funny. Well, I think it's because it was this. There is a chance that this spinning, no way. That could be it. There's a bunch of dust on that desk, and there's a light bulb right here, and this spinning might have been kicking up that dust, and also there's like these copper cylindrical, so maybe the spinning caused like weird, how do I put it, magnetic shittery to happen, so the microphone was starting to lose it. What are the odds? All right, let me look at, we'll start with Lone's thing. Lone wanted to show me something, and then we will look at Red's, and then we will look at Gamer's, not Gamer, sorry, Delta's manga suggestion. I want to see what that one's about, because I bet I might have seen it. Let me see. We got Lone. And then this. Jesus Christ! Ooh. Ooh, I don't know if I can show that one, Lone. That one is cooking. Yeah, I want to. It looks good. I like the weird, like, she's got like water. Sorry, she's behind like a water spout in like a mountain, and yet is wearing like black straps. So like, what? Excuse me? Are you on drugs? Okay. Let's see if it will work if we do the meme thing. Nope. This. Deactivate. Activate. Come on, baby. Work. And. Come on. Please. There it is. Magic. Okay. Good. This is Lone's. I imagine this was the. This is the new gotcha game Lone is playing. And the other one. The new capture lock of our boy. Have a good sleep. I hope I can see you the new year. Yes. I hope 2024, 2024 has everything you possibly want. Oh, music's super loud. Sorry. Sorry, thank you, Red. I muted it on my other one, not this one. No, I muted it wrong. Sorry. Sorry. I have two musics. One's coming from my PC and the other one's not. And I also want to hear music, so it's a complicated mess. Anyways, it should be good. Thank you guys. Sorry. Sorry. Shit. It also sucks that there's a delay. There's enough of a delay that we're just boned. There's enough of a delay where based on like I can react immediately when you guys show me. It does not matter, unfortunately. And I'm waiting for you guys to be like, okay, you fixed it. All right. Well, boom. I like it. Looks awesome. Lone. I enjoy the bird. Looks cool. I like that there's not just like a pair of Hadada on screen. There's like, what if we put a badass phoenix that's gold beside them with a, oh my god, the tail looks awesome. It's crazy that the bird has more style than the woman, but we'll not talk about that. Okay. Oof, lol. Is good now. I'm sorry. The delay does not help any of you. Okay. Ugh, sorry about that. Yeah, so if you guys want to know what happened there, basically, because I'm running on two PCs, you guys, I can't hear the music you guys are hearing right now. So in order for me to hear it, I need to run it through my speakers on my other PC. But that same PC is also being sent to Streamlabs. Or sorry, OBS, sorry. Not Streamlabs. OBS. So essentially, we're having to like, I muted it in the previous scene, but when you switched over to the other one, it wasn't muted. So that's why you guys got fucking smashed. Sorry. But that's why. Just a weird complication thing. But anyways, let me look at the other one, Lone. I have to alt-tab it out of way. I have to, yeah, do one of these. Is this one still loud? Stream music. Sorry, I just want to see. Okay, yeah, we don't have the PC music there. Okay, I don't need to worry about that one. It's on the starting soon screen. All right. Can I delete one of the messages so that I can, yes. Can I remove I just want to remove this one message. It's one thing. I just want to delete. Okay, it's fine. I can't. It's gonna be difficult. Anyways, I'm just gonna show 3. I like this one the most. I think. I like this one the most. I don't know why. I think it's maybe the color. I will say I am shocked that like they're using the entire image, whereas most gacha things are just using like a singular thing, like the one character. This one, they're like, what if we did some stuff with the background? So there's like a fucking majestic unicorn behind them. Even though I think she's supposed to be like an Oni, but I guess now it's probably not a normal unicorn thing. I like the design. The design is great. Again, it never ceases to amaze me how much amazing design these damn games have. But then the gameplay always was what kills me, which is why Genshin to me stood out. Holy shit, this fucking third image, or the center middle, is insane. Or bottom middle is insane, Lone. What is this one? Absolutely not. Wow, this one's more degenerate than what's his name? What's the goddamn thing? I've never thought I'd see another gacha game that's more degenerate than Nikita. This one is hitting. Not this. This image is fine. It's the other two that I can't show you. One has claws grabbing a person. That's very reminiscent of another thing in Japanese culture, we'll say. Anyways, but yeah, this one I feel like is wholesome. I like this one a lot. Ears long as shit. Body proportions actually make some sense. Not the booba, but the waistline thing, and the thighs actually look symmetrical, which is rare. Oh, there's also a wolf behind her. That's cute. I love it, Lone. I can see why. What is the gameplay like? And why is it tiny Jinko Pops on your screen looking cute? Okay. And now we will move over to Reds. Hopefully the video processed so we can see all of it in all of its glory. That's muted good. Golly. Just kind of trying to pull it up here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Red's creation that he's been working on for a while. Let me do this one. Thus far, Red, it looks amazing. I do like the hair. I know it's probably not, doesn't come with the territory or whatever. Maybe it's just like the character avatar. I don't know. But, let's wait. Does she have metal? Why does she have these gold bar? Ooh, the fucking goddamn shoes. Ooh, God, breaking a goddamn ankle if she's missteps for a split second. Wait, what? Oh, wait, no, you guys can't see your shit. Why? Why are you forsaking me? Why, God? You son of a bitch. Sorry, God, sorry. I don't, if you exist, I apologize. Geez Louise, guys, give me a sec. Where is it? PC. Our stream has no problems, okay? I will not have this absolute fucking flander, okay? We're just hanging out. We're having a good time. And some things aren't working, okay? Come on. Oh, the anime is called Gamer, or the manga, I should say. It's called Gamer. There we go. Okay, it's working. This is Red's mod that he's been working on for almost, I think, a year and a half. It feels like a long time. It looks beautiful, frankly. Wildin'. I would call it again. I don't. Is this the? It's like this is the remodel of the one character, so that's why there's like this metal bracelets, or is she like bound? Again, she's gonna break her ankle if she just deviates slightly. Unless they're like fused onto the foot, maybe it's fine because it's literally like suctioned on with like you can like tighten the rope a lot, so you're I don't know. Regardless, okay, all right, Red, please, Red, please. We got again. I don't know. Yeah, no, I like it. I was the metal, the gold rings stand out, but I think it looks nice still. Again, we got cute gloves. I can imagine hands being just the worst thing to model ever, because you're trying to actually account for the fact that like gloves aren't just like skin tight to your flesh; they're kind of like baggy. Cute little hat. Ooh, man, that's where you see a lot of clipping and shit. Red's popped off with this. Usually see a lot of clipping. Red, don't zoom in, please. Okay, good. I would let this keep resetting, but that little yep terrifies me. Okay. But Red, I think it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. I also think, things tend to look significantly better in game as well. So I think that's also something. So is that how the gameplay looks? Must be. Anyways, but yeah, I think things look much better in game. Like I remember when we first seen your, I can't even believe it. One of the mods that Red first showed us was him like taking this character that is just like extremely good quality in Elden Ring, and it looks kind of strange because like Elden Ring is like a dark fantasy where most people are covered in like black cloth and shit, and then Red like did this mod where you have this like perfect skin, to lots of skin, and like crazy like what do you call it, skin textures and all that stuff, just going crazy, just popping off. Lon says the gameplay leaves something to be desired. I'll just say that. Oh no, oh no, oh man. Again, to me it is like the ultra combo, which I don't know why more developers haven't like thought of. I just don't know why we can't ever have a game that has like, I actually don't mind the character systems. Ideally, it wouldn't be trapped behind money, but sure, it's just people. That's yeah. If any company's gonna pursue it, it's through the idea of this is gonna make money. But I just don't know why they don't actually like give us a AAA experience where we can actually use those characters in something like that, you know, rather than it be just kind of sectioned off. But let me look at this this anime or manga. So I keep saying the wrong thing. Let me look at this manga and see what it's all about. I want to see if I've seen it before. It's called Gamer. Let me see. Go to my site that shall not be named. It can be named. It's called Comic K. I like it quite a lot. Not a lot of ads. It's fine. Where is it? Where Delta said is called. There it is. There's Gamer. Okay. Gamer. Just hit go. Is it the Gamer or Gamer? The Gamer. Holy shit! Does it have fucking 490 chapters? Mother of God! There's also one with 3 chapters. I don't think that's right. What if your life is just like playing a game? What if you can upgrade your status and gain more levels? A fantasy world is coming right at you. Han Lee, a normal high school student, suddenly develops special powers where his entire world is shifted into... I can't believe I've never seen... There's 500 chapters. Oh, I thought it looked scuffed. Wow. What a shock. Yeah, the thumbnail of the manhwa looks real scuffed. Like, of the manga looks real scuffed. And then you click on the chapter and they look fine. Why the fuck did they have such a bad image for the main fucking copy? Like, Jesus. I thought it was going to be one of those things where it's like Tower of God, where it looks rough, but it's like one of the most compelling stories you've ever seen. But yes, I might read that. That looks quite good. I'm surprised. I think that was the right one. Interesting, Delta. Yeah, that one, I can't believe there's 500 chapters. That's wild to me. I will say, Delta, you seem like you've read a lot of manga. I'm not sure if you've read a lot of manhwa as well, like South, I don't know, whatever, the Asian countries, the thing, like a manhwa from those kinds of things. The one thing that I've noticed, man, and I don't mean to be this way, but like there is one of those things where like I'm so surprised by the difference in manhwa, not manga, manhwa, which is like is it South Korea or, no, it's South Korea, I think. Right? Or North Korea, whatever. South Korea is the one that's not the fucking dictator. Anyway, I think it's the South Korean manhwa. To me, are like very similar to manga in the sense that they have the same like harmony, like the same resonant frequency that I think Japan has, they have, and the West has, which is like there's a certain way of storytelling and things like that they really like. But I've never felt like a more different thing when it comes to Chinese manhwa, essentially. I think it's called something different. I think it's called it's some weird thing. It's like a different type of thing, but it's basically Chinese developed that. But it's such a different storytelling thing. It's like a lot more chaotic. It almost seems like it doesn't need to make as much sense. Like it doesn't need to have certain methodical things. I don't know. Regardless, it's one of the things I'm surprised. I'm not sure if that one is that, but I tend to be able to be like, oh, this is definitely, and I look at it, it's like, yep, this is a Chinese type of story, which is, I don't mean it to be in a negative way. I just mean that they have clearly have a different value set for what makes up a story and what they want from it. And I thought that was crazy or interesting that it could be so different. Delta says people have been told you just way too behind the chat to see. No, what do you call Delta? It's not, well, it kind of, and it's not really the case. So you have, I'm not sure if you've been here on Sunday streams or Saturday streams, but basically on Saturday streams, it's not that the chat necessarily is behind, although it kind of is. But it's more, Saturday streams is mainly a hangout. It's always supposed to be a hangout. It's basically like a community podcast. Essentially is what I've always thought of it as. So to me, I actually read the top of the chat. So it's not that the chat's delayed, it's just that I basically don't let anyone's comment leave. So instead of reading the bottom of the chat and whatever is the most new, I'll instead read the top of the chat and make sure no one's comment gets left behind. That way we can genuinely sink in and actually have a conversation about 5 different things. It might take a little bit of time getting to that topic again, but at least you guys never get left behind, essentially. But I will say, ever since having to do this setup, I want to upgrade my upgrade my capture card. They're like $200 to $300, unfortunately. so I'm not gonna be able to do that anytime soon. But if I got one of those, then it would decrease the latency right now. Right now, I think there's about 6 seconds or 8 seconds of latency, which I don't think is unbearable. But with the way that we've always streamed, which I've always I don't like leaving comments behind in general, so I kind of do that for all of the streams, is like try to keep on top of it essentially. But yeah, I upload a video how it looks like in the game when it's that's ready. Gotcha. I can't wait to see it, but it looks good even then. But I just know that like lighting and all these things can like massively contribute to how something like is perceived. So like things look a little flat there, but I think as soon as you get in the game, it'll look crazy. Delta says, like the one you told me about, gamer is quite the slow. Oh, I see. Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind if it's a slow burn. The thing that the reason why I ended up, I didn't really finish my train of thought. One of the reasons why I got into manga, or manhwa, the whole thing, which I never would have thought I would, because I just have so much anime to watch, and anime just seems like a much better value proposition of like, here's all the content that you could want, all this stuff. The reason why I got into it is because there's so many more interesting ideas, I think, in manga and in manhwa. It has nothing to do with like the entertainment value. It has nothing to do with any of that. It just has to do with the fact that some of the concepts that you're able to actually unravel in those things are brilliant and like super interesting. So to me, it's much more of that. But also, I will say, I do think just like anime, there's moments when I start to get burnt out, and I've always been pretty good about knowing like whenever I start to getting like things aren't as enjoyable as I know they would be if I took a little bit of a break. And then, yeah, I think I've also just went through a bunch of manga, so I'm kind of like wanting to chill out and watch some anime and then go back to manga and kind of alternate. But yeah. Although I still have yet, even though I went ham this year watching manhwa and manga, luckily no anime gets adapted from manhwa, which is not luckily, it's terrible. Because manhwa has so many amazing stories, and they're actually like paced out in a really like narrative way that I think would actually work for anime. Anyways, yeah, I think it's mad frustrating when not frustrating. Sorry, it's I still have yet to get to a point where I have watched an anime that I have read the manga for, so I'm curious how that plays. I'm curious how that contention plays within your heart, you know? Alone says, Red, the mood looks good. The mod looks good, sorry, the mod. I thought mood also worked, but mod makes sense. This game looks good, but yeah, I don't like the clothes and the era of technology. Oh, I think, yeah, to me, I like the era. The clothes, to me, I could see being a little bit weird, but because I play mostly first person, I think it's not going to be too much of an issue. But I think, again, I'm still interested in checking this game out. I think, I shouldn't say. I always say, like, I'm interested in checking things out, but then sometimes we get so busy, like, right around when there's a new game coming out, and I'm just like, I'm kind of satisfied just doing what I'm doing. You know, damn. Faces says, excited for Final Fantasy Rebirth and the Yakuza Infinity Wealth. Ooh. Man. I'm happy you're excited, Faceless, but I have completely missed the hype train on the Final Fantasy games. I had not played them in my childhood. I see people being like, this is the most anticipated game of this year, and I'm kind of like, what if we poll people who haven't played Final Fantasy? Maybe it's just everyone's played Final Fantasy, but damn, I'm like, I feel kind of left out because I don't know. But also, I guess I shouldn't say, because with Final Fantasy, I guess the prerequisite is that like they're basically contained usually within the same game. Like they're not really, like, you don't need to play the previous ones necessarily to enjoy them. I thought the Final Fantasy, like the first couple were the exception, where they actually had like a linear story that kept going each game to game. Wow. No. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to start to slowly wind down as we talk about everything that we got up to this year. I'm pretty content. Sure, would there have been cool things that we could have reached further on? Like maybe we could have gotten... I feel like halfway through the year, I kind of started to lose my strategy for YouTube things in pursuit of other things. And then I kind of got lost, and I kind of got confused why things weren't working anymore. And then I had to kind of like pause, figure out what the hell was going on, and then I'm back in it. But that also might be just, that's usually just a state of YouTube as well, that sometimes things ebb and flow, and that's okay, you know? But ultimately, dude, I want ham. I'm pretty proud of this year as far as all the things that I was able to kind of check off the list and do. Last year I felt really weird about it. Like I wish I had this feeling like I needed to do more. I should have done more. This year I feel much more like I'm proud of everything that I learned. I feel like I made massive jumps and strides into being able to actually like create content that I feel like is just better. Not better. That's not the right way to phrase it. My goal, I guess, is to create content that kind of captures you. What I most dearly want to get good at, and understanding how I do it, so I can redo it again and again and again, and truly understand what I'm doing, is basically to kind of pull you guys in, like pull you guys into a story. Like that was one of the things I found out this year, which I thought was hilarious, or not hilarious, but interesting. But I heard this idea. I'm not sure if you guys heard it before too, but the idea is essentially almost everybody has a special talent. The funny thing is that most people will never understand their innate talent because they misunderstand a talent as being only good. For example, one of the best examples I heard a story which was about Michael Phelps, which is like a fucking absurd Olympic athlete that is just like crazy beyond belief gifted, and all of those things. But when one of the things that he responded to when he got asked like what was the key to your success, and he basically told a story of when he was a kid. He had very, very, very bad ADHD, and he just kind of couldn't sit still in class, couldn't calm down. Eventually he got on ADHD medication, but he hated the way it made him feel. So he ended up basically joining the swimming class and started doing that, and then basically just got super burnt out. He didn't need the pills anymore. So he went and asked his doctor, can I get off the pills because they make me feel like I'm dead, like I'm not who I am. They agreed so long as he kept swimming. And then he just basically had like a master proclivity to keep swimming. He had all the motivation to keep swimming because it was the only place that burned him out, that made him feel calm, that made everything feel still when his brain kept racing. So I thought that's a really nice sentiment, I think. You know, like everyone has an initial talent, we'll say, or not talent, superpowers, what people call it, like something that comes to you that is like a natural proclivity. But the trap is that people assume that it's always going to be good. Like it's like sometimes your innate talent or proclivity could show itself and actually be like, this is my most toxic trait I could ever have, you know, and you're like, God damn it, this is bullshit, it's not good. But in reality, it could also be the thing that basically gives you a massive advantage when it comes to everything. And one of those things to me that I've always thought my whole life, as me as an individual, that was my massive problem, was that I can't stop my brain from basically creating stories, from creating worlds in my mind. If I watch a TV show, if I hear a prompt, if I hear an image, or if I see an image, my brain just immediately starts firing off on all cylinders and like builds out a world, builds out a character. And at first I thought this was just kind of something that was just like, sure, some people have this, it's probably just like an annoying thing that kind of distracts you, kind of takes your mind in a weird direction. But then I remember telling one of my friends about this, and I talked about how I was describing what basically I was doing, what I was basically zoning out and thinking about, and I was explaining how like I started getting almost emotional talking about one of the characters in my like weird story or world, and they're like, whoa, what's going on with that? And I was like, yeah, I just like I can feel the character's sad, like I can feel how deeply sad and how meaningful this moment is for him, etc. And to almost to the point where I could cry because I could feel everything about them. Like I understand them, I made them almost. It's like this weird thing. Maybe not weird, maybe people can understand that. Anyways, my friend was basically like, no, absolutely not. I've never fucking gotten teary-eyed thinking about a story that I just made up on the spot. Like, it's just nuts. So then I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of just went through it, realizing, okay, maybe this is not so normal. Anyways, as I went through my life and all that stuff, I ended up finding out that that basically it becomes a problem where like I can't. It disabled me from actually like doing things that I wanted to do, you know, like where I would really like to edit right now, but instead my brain keeps getting sidetracked by this story and this thing I want to tell and say and all these things. Anyways, I heard this thing in this book, and I thought, oh, especially when I heard the idea that this thing could actually be something you perceive as toxic or negative. What do I do with that? So then I ended up basically hyper leaning in to that when it comes to YouTube. Like this year, in the middle of this year, I basically was like, okay, well, I naturally really want to tell stories. I'm not sure if I'm good at it, but I naturally love telling stories, and my brain, you can give me like 3 words and I can think of something that I really want to tell you. It's not that it's good, it's not that it's a great story, it's just that I immediately have like every single cell in my body is like, I want to tell you this, I want to show you this, I want to bring this idea to life. And they could be absurd, they could be pure fucking madness, but I want to share that with you. And hence the name Mind Palace of Madness. I'm letting you guys into my weird Mind Palace of Madness with the new channel in VR. And yeah, so to me that's something that I started to do, and I feel like I finally started to find my stride to like mix in my deep desire to want to tell you a story, a simple story or a complex story or just a fun story. Even if it's a story of just experiencing something cool I found that week, you know? And I found when I started doing that, I found I really started to like the videos I started making. And I really started to like, I think I started to finally develop that thing that I so deeply wanted to develop, which is the ability to kind of pull you in. I talked about it again a couple minutes ago, but like there was a big boom on YouTube with manhwa, like manhwa recap, where easily, like within 2 seconds of that video, I felt myself pulled in because it's literally recounting a story that was like expertly crafted by a person who's made 1,000 stories, converted down to like a bite-sized piece, and I just fell into that video, and I watched like 2 hours worth of video, felt like 10 minutes, you know? So I feel like sometimes I'm able to like tap into that, to doing that. Like I've created a story that makes you feel like, boom, time has passed. And you're like, that was fun, you know? And I'm happy that I finally did that this year. And I thought it would be important to tell you guys, because I think that's something that a lot of people, for us, we go against what is our natural proclivity and not realizing what way we could possibly leverage that proclivity, or talent, I should say. I shouldn't say talent, because talent implies that it's somehow good, when oftentimes it can be the thing that's actually holding you back, but if you position it in a way, it can push you forward. It can be your edge, so to speak. But anyways, all in all, as far as, because I asked you guys about how yours went, and I think from everything I've seen, Red has done fantastic with his mods. I wish I knew more about Delta. Hopefully Delta stays in our community for longer so I can learn more about him and keep tabs on him. Fluff has done incredible. Raid has also been fantastic. Raid has been one of the more like consistently fantastic people who, not consistently fantastic, consistently here and overall extremely positive. And I value him dearly as a member of our community as well. I don't really say it as much, but I appreciate Raid being here a lot. Raid name. As well as Red, as well as Lone, everyone. I appreciate you guys so much. But all of you guys have basically, I think, done plenty of amazing things. You guys always give me such encouragement every time you guys tell me what you got going on, what you're doing. Lone continuing to pursue art, Red continuing to pursue his modding. It's always things that to me I think are just brilliant. And I don't know, one of the things I enjoy, I heard a while ago, is you become the sum total of who you spend your time with. And to me, you guys are a giant percentage of the people I spend time with. And I find myself constantly inspired and wanting to do more every time I hear about what you guys are doing. And these new interests that you're pursuing, full bore and all that stuff is just wonderful. So I'm happy that I know you guys. I'm hopeful that we can continue to pop off and have fun in 2024 and all those things. Let me catch up on chat because I just rambled for quite a bit. Faceless says that I posted a video of Share Your Grin for everyone else to watch. Ooh, okay. Gotcha. Faceless says, yep, each one is a new one. Delta says, sure does. I actually have another one I think you would like. That's over 1,000 chapters. Golly, hit me with it. I'll add it to the queue. Hopefully I'll have some time to watch. Faceless says, hope that Let It Die 2 game is good. Still remember when you forgot Black Thunder / White Steel, or when I fought Black Thunder and White Steel? Yeah, I don't. I'm happy you do, Faceless. I hope so. I hope the game is good too. I don't know if I'll cover it. I think I'll cover it maybe just like as one video on the channel. I don't know, man. Maybe I do. I don't want to promise anything. I don't know. One of the things that I should get in the habit of doing is not being so adamant about certain things. Maybe I find something's fun and I want to do that. Maybe I find the value in something and I want to do that. I don't want to be too rigid in that, because you never know what kind of opportunity could be in front of you. So I should not be like, I'm not going to play. But I tend to feel like right now I'm very happy with doing the VR stuff. Maybe I realize that there's just no way like I could do VR and it ever be successful, so then I need to try to do VR but also do something else that could maybe be successful, I guess. But I think VR has a chance. We'll see how 2024 is. If there was ever a year for VR to kind of pop off, it may be that year, so we'll see. Also, it's more of a me thing. I need to get better at all that stuff. I hope Let Die 2 is amazing as well. Faceless, I really hope. Delta says, sorry to drop another one on you, but there is also a light novel that is the best I have ever read so far, called Shadow Slave. You should try. I can't read the novel yet. I'm not saying I'll never do it because I can't say that anymore, but I'm not yet. I need a visual element right now. Maybe in the future that'll change, but right now I feel like I need that visual element. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I'm sure eventually we might get there to the light novel, but instead we're gonna stick with manga. And yes, funny that I'm receding when most people go forward. Faces says, yeah, miss our group raids. Yeah. Raid says, it's always a pleasure to be here. Raid says, glad to be here. This is easily my favorite. I appreciate that, guys. I sometimes feel like I don't do the best job when it comes to, like, again, it's just that I'm just gonna say it. Maybe you guys take it away. I'm sorry if it sounds a certain way, but it takes so much time to edit some of these videos, and that's partly a, oh god, sorry, I hit the mic. It's partly a my problem kind of thing. Like, I need to come up with a video idea that is not so tired, like not so doesn't require so much effort and so much time to edit and add sound effects and add annotations and all these, not annotations, effects, and all these things. I think it makes for a better video, but I don't have anything to like alleviate that. Like, I don't have enough. We're not making enough money in any way to like alleviate that and have an editor. I'm sure I want one, I guess, eventually, or something like that. But I don't have any of that, so I just do the best that I can. But there's parts where I'm like, I don't really feel like I'm always doing the best when it comes to this community, because I feel like more people would. A good thing to do would be to, like, use our Discord more and to cultivate community things more, like to do all those things that are relevant and important. But it's just that I already don't have enough time to like edit and do the whole YouTube thing. I'm so happy that as much as I'm both happy and sad, but like I really do want to keep making the share or grin videos. Like, I want to make anime videos, but there's just no time, To be fair though, I'm doing what I think like usually a whole team of people do. Maybe that's not fair. I think people make smarter formulas where they're like, hey, let me just do this baseline thing, I enjoy being here too. That's great, guys. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy everyone's here. I hope you guys will stick with me a little bit longer into 2024, if I could be so brash to ask that of you. I hope we can create something even funner, and I hope I'm on the. I can't promise that we'll ever succeed on YouTube. I don't know about that at this point. I kind of have given up on whether I'm just an acquired taste, which might be the case. But I do still deeply want to create something like video-wise that does that thing, that does like capture you, that does pull you in deeper and deeper, and like makes a 20-minute video feel like a minute, maybe. It's very difficult to do, and I have moments where I kind of touch that and I can do that, but then I have other moments where like I'm off, I'm missed essentially. So if I can get that hit rate up to about like 90%, then I feel real good about it, and that'll be enough, I don't want to stop until I can do that. Yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I can stream for you and talk your ear off for many years to come. I appreciate all of you for sticking with me in 2023. We did lose some people, but we gained a lot of other people as well, and I'm overwhelmingly grateful for anyone giving me a single second of their day, which used to be my outro, and I deeply still connect with that, because I don't think I deserve anything, and I very much am grateful for people even being here for a single second. But yes, Red says, without even a second thought, Grin, your streams are easily the most lock forward the most forward I look to. That's so sweet. It's so sweet, Red. Thank you. Very sweet. I appreciate you too. This is one of the things that keeps my brain in a good place, because I don't have many social encounters outside of this, so this kind of keeps in a good way, I think. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm off to go I'm going to go color correct that Star Wars video I made, and then hopefully I have enough time to make a thumbnail for it, and then I am probably off to go upload it, essentially, for tomorrow, if I can. I mean, it's either tomorrow or Monday, but it's this fun, goofy Star Wars video story. Maybe you guys are into it. I don't know. It's not like the one video where I feel like a lot of you guys would be into it. But anyways, hopefully you guys still... I'm not sure if you should watch it. Again, if you're not into it, don't watch it. but hopefully I can see you guys in the next video, or next stream. Thursday stream. I don't know what we'll do. I'll kind of leave it up to chance. Yeah, I don't know what we'll do. We'll see. Let's see what 2024 brings, says Faceless. Everyone says bye. Everyone's being sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully I can see you again. And goodbye, my friends.